All right, what's good, y'all? Listen, welcome in. We'll get started here in a moment. Make sure you are dropping your sense of the days. Make sure you are hitting that like button. We'll get started here in a moment. Not going to be on long. Just wanted to tap in real quick. How everybody's doing? What we got going on?
The Weekly Blend, live every week. Fragrance, culture, conversation.
All right, what's good, y'all? Listen, what's good? Welcome to this Weekly Blend every Tuesday night. Music down low. Every Tuesday night, we just go live and we have conversations, fragrance, culture, community, all that fun stuff. Appreciate y'all stopping through. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a little bit on Tuesday. How y'all doing? Because last Tuesday was fun. It was fun. It was interesting. I'll say that. Last Tuesday was fun. I wanted to make sure we did at least touch base this week. Let's just kind of jump in. Let's see what what we got going on. Joel, of course, up first. Joel says, center of the day is Ormond Jane Kashmir. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Disciples Christian Fellowship is in the building. Looks like Ricky's in the building. Everybody's in there. Twizzy, what's up, my guy? Good to see you as well. Ricky, what's cracking? Center of the day is Molinard Feig. Molinard, I'm probably have to get another one from Molinard because that one that Joel turned me on to, the gingembre. Nice. Joel says, am I the only one having problems or issues with YouTube today? Not my channel, but things not loading up. Yes, in fact, I was just trying to, because I've got another computer set up here so I can kind of watch just kind of the views and the stream health and all that fun stuff. And it was taking a while to get in there. I finally had to go in a different way. So YouTube is having some issues, it looks like, today. So so Twizzy's having it as well. So YouTube is doing it as well. So, all right, sounds good. Dave's, yes, let's see what else we got here. SVT checking in. Good to see you. Good evening, fragrance friends. Center of the day is Louis Vuitton Lovers. Definitely a nice one. Definitely a solid one from LV, or as I call them, Las Vegas, because I don't want to get any trouble when I talk about the dupes, the clones, or what have you. All right. Chief of DC, good to see you, my guy. Good to see you hanging out with everyone. Yes, make sure you hit that like button. All right. Garland, good to see you, my guy. How's it going? Center of the day, Xerjoff Decus. Yes, that's a nice, solid, fruity kind of one, but yes, definitely another solid one from the Xerjoff team. Peter Procure, YouTube was tripping for a minute, thought I was going to miss the live. Yeah, well, you can always catch it on replay as well. Ralph is in his regular one. Ralph, I don't know if you're going to switch over to your Xerjoff one, but good to see you, Ralph. Let's see. Yeah, YouTube's been tripping. Let's see. Kind of go through there. All right, got a couple other center of the days. Let's see. Chief of DC, center of the day is Cutlass Yaka Silver. Nice. Vinci, Blue de Chanel exclusive. I'm going to talk about, I know one of you, I mentioned I was going to tap in and do a little more with it. I don't know if I'm going to do a full review, but I've got some feedback on Yeoman Lel's version of that exclusive. So I'll definitely kind of try and touch base on that tonight. Center of the night, Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Yes, that's a solid one as well. Yes, sir. Center of the day, Narcotica Narco Oasis. Good. Everybody's smelling good. Everybody is smelling great this evening. Polo 67 EDP. Solid. Yeah, Ralph, it's a worldwide semi outage. Yes, that seems to be it. Jason, what's good? What's going on? Yes, wow. Yeah, YouTube is definitely bugging. It's what YouTube's gonna do what it does. All right. All right. So I don't really have a sin of the day today. I was doing some videos and doing some filming, what have you. So I kind of have some everything on. One thing that I did get that I'm gonna tap more into is this guy right here. Like I literally got this at the doorstep maybe about 3 hours ago, maybe 4. That this is the aromatics, this is frostbite. So first one from the house of, or I was about to say the house of aromatics, but the first one from that collab, aromatics and fragrance world, or French Avenue I should say. Initial thoughts, definitely a nice one, definitely a solid one. Blueberry, mango, some florals, I think, in the middle, as far as just kind of what I remember, just the real brief interaction I've had with it so far. But I'm definitely going to spend a little more time with it. But this is what I am at least rocking on part of my arm right now. So the aromatics, that frostbite, definitely a solid one, definitely nice. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. That guy Garlo says 9 p.m. night out arrived today. Let me know what you think about it. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. I don't know that I'm going to pick it up, or at least not yet. I may wait a little while. We'll see. But definitely would love to hear kind of your thoughts on it. I know, like I said, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And Jason, did I see correctly? I had to kind of jump out of Walt's live yesterday. But did I see that you picked up a bottle of Joe Milano Game of Spades? Did I see that? All right. Oh, before I forget, just some community news. And I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this because he did bring it up on his live a couple weeks ago. But on Instagram, Walt did post that it looks like his grandmother did pass away. It looks like today. So definitely just keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. I don't know how active he's going to be for the next few days, but definitely just, he's part of the community. He's part of this cul-de-sac. And so we all can probably empathize and know what that feels like. So definitely prayers and thoughts with him, with his entire family, as they're going through this time of just celebrating the life of his grandmother and what she meant to him, what she meant to the rest of the family, as far as sister, mother, aunt, all those things that she was to people. So definitely wanted to pass that along, just because we need to, in the community, be a community, right? And I think we're seeing even more the need for just the community. I think we have something really special here. I think we have something that really is sets this cul-de-sac, as it were, sets this apart maybe from other areas of FragCom, is that we've kind of taken on this community approach to a lot of things, right? No one's competing against anybody. We all kind of jump into lives together. We all kind of jump onto chats together. We're building this community. So definitely that's something that I think is unique here, and something that has to be protected at all costs. All right. Yes, it's crazy. It feels like the world is empty without YouTube. We depend so much on YouTube. Absolutely. They'll ask, how is frostbite in the cold? Hence the name. So here's the thing. It's not, to me, it feels more spring, even leading into summer. This doesn't feel like a winter fragrance, right? The name is a little misleading in my opinion, just because frostbite, yes, I'm normally thinking either something very icy, as it were, very chill, as it were, or something that is definitely for the winter. This is fruity. It's got some wood, some aromatics. It's not anything that I would have called, let's say, frostbite. So, but again, first impressions, solid, but yeah, I'm not getting the name, as it were. All right. Rick says 9 p.m. out all night, or Musaman Intense. They were similar to me, not a dupe of one another, but similar in smell. So I think Musaman is on its way to me. I'm pretty sure is on its way to me. as well as the Latafa Eternal Vanille. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what that looks like. All right. Mr. Clark is in the building. Scent of the day is a Zahara Signature Leather Tobacco. So shout out to Blaine. Blaine did send me a bunch of decants of Zahara. So I'm going through and kind of putting my nose on Zahara. Prior to this, I've only smelled like 2 Zaharas. So like Aurum, I know is one, and Signature Aurum, I think it was the other. So now I've got my nose on the latest 3. And from what I've smelled so far, Iberi, which is Oso's one, I think his name is Oso. I forgot the wrestler's name, but that one is probably the one that's most intriguing to me. Ross's is nice, and the other one by Justin is nice too. But Iberi is the one that probably sticks out more to me so far. So, but definitely, I think I've got leather tobacco in here. We'll see. I don't know if he included that, but yes, definitely. Yeah, it is sold out right now in a lot of places. I think even on Neeb's site, it's sold out right now. So the hype train is working for it. The hype train is working for it more than it's working for Cal's, because Cal's is still available. And I think Cal's is really only available in one place as far as Joma exclusively. So either Joma went all in and got everything there was, or people are just not necessarily gravitating towards it. Like I said, for me, Thriller, Cal, no offense to Cal, I'm not in a rush to grab it. And I think, who was it? Ashton said something that was like, he basically, I'm paraphrasing, but Ashton basically said, would there be this buzz over it if Cal's name wasn't attached to it? I would call facts on that. So, but yeah, I'm not in a rush to get that Thriller. We'll see, but yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Got a decant of Night Out. Hated the opening, but the dry down is nice. Okay. So you did get something yesterday. Okay. Jason is slowly coming to the dark side. We'll see. Let's see. Let's kind of come down further. Let's see. Rolf says 9 p.m. Night Out is good. I'm more interested in this one than Thriller. Yeah, I agree. I'm probably going to end up getting the Night Out, but not a rush to get it. But I'm probably going to get that sooner than Thriller. Thriller is I'll wait and see. I'll kind of come back to it maybe a little bit later, but now I'm not getting it. All right. Kind of jump down. All right. JJ Bishop's in the building as well. All right. Solid. So just to kind of give y'all some updates, I was messing around as far as like kind of teasing my wife. I was like, should I come back and drop more information? But no, we're going to let that whole situation as far as Black Roma and Corey, I'm still handling things off camera, what have you. But as far as me, I wanted to get back to just talking fragrance. And that's why originally I wasn't planning on coming on live tonight, just because a lot of things going on personally. I just wanted to kind of just take some time. But I was like, you know what? I wanted to make sure that we get back on and we talk fragrance, because that's what we do. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to make sure we stay up on, is just talking fragrance. This is what this channel is dedicated towards. This is what this community is about. And we're just going to have to talk fragrance. All right. Let's see. So one of the things that I know was a question. So I got in a recent shipment from Yeoman Lale. So Yeoman Lale sent over a few things. Kind of go through. You probably saw the review of this one here, which is Triple Spear. This is their take on Neptune's Trident. So pretty good, pretty solid. It's one that I had an opportunity maybe about 5-6 months ago to test out a previous rendition of this. At the time, I thought it was okay, but this has gotten much better. So this is definitely much better as far as opening to end. not a one-to-one, but definitely puts you in the space, definitely does the things you want it to do. So that's one thing that I got from them. I think I already did a review on that. One that I'm debating if I'm even going to do a review of, I'll probably just tell you all this right now as we're here. But this one here, this is, what's this called? This is called Kingdom. So juice is beautiful as far as the color of everything, right? This is their take on Kingside from Mind Games. The challenge with me for this is that I'm not a fan of Kingside from Mind Games. So this to me is like, I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but I'm not a fan of it more so because I'm not a fan of the OG, right? I know Walt had kind of gotten the same thing, and he was talking about the oil concentration. I don't get the oil as far as on this, as far as like the overabundance of oil, but I'm not a fan of that pistachio creamy. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. So I probably won't spend too much time with it as far as just what I do with it as far as a review. But I will say this. I at least went to Dillard's, sprayed on Kingside, the things I do for you all. Sprayed on Kingside, put it on skin, and then I let that dry down and I compared it with the Kingdom from Yeoman Lail. Fairly close. So if you're in the space for a Kingside clone, you may check this out. If you are not a fan of Kingside, then you're not going to be a fan of this. It's one of those things that if you're looking for a clone, this might be your option, right? It smells close to that fragrance. It's just not a fragrance. It's not a DNA. It's not anything I prefer. I actually prefer Queening over Kingside. So interesting how that is. But yeah, so that was that. And then I did get a discovery set. So one of the things that was most intriguing out of the discovery set, there were two things in the discovery set that were really intriguing. One being their take on smoking hot, which I'm spending a little more time with. But this one right here, you can tell already I've been wearing this, been testing this out. This is their take on Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif. So I don't know if y'all remember last year when Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif came out, there was a lot of conversation, of course, that we were having about it regarding the cost of it, whether or not it was redundant, whether or not it was worth it. It was Chanel kind of pushing the envelope with the price and whatever. And one of the things that many of us were saying was, let's wait and see until the clone houses, until the Inspired takes, until they get their hands on it, and let's see. Because for me, I wasn't necessarily I wasn't one that I was necessarily a big fan of, or it wasn't one that I was necessarily rushing out to get. But I do, of course, appreciate the Bleu de Chanel fragrance, the DNA, and all that stuff. So for me, this right here puts it definitely in the space, puts it definitely in the place where I might actually cop a full of this. Once I get through with this 10 ml, I may actually cop that bottle from Yeoman Lail, just because I like the Bleu de Chanel, having it around. I've got the Parfum. The difference between the Parfum and the L'Exclusif, there's enough of a difference that it's not totally redundant, but it's still in that potentially redundant phase. So for me, we'll see if that's what I actually end up doing. But it's one of that right now, this could definitely work for that. If you're looking for the L'Exclusif, you may just go ahead and get the 10 ml, see if this works for you as far as from Yeoman Lail, the, what is it called? Jon Snow Exclusive. But get that, and then you might find yourself saving lots and lots of money over that Chanel as far as what it costs there. All right, let's see what we got. Let's jump back to the chat. Let's see what we got here. Peter Procure, good to see you. Says, I picked up Night Out 9 days in and 3 or 4 wears. I picked up a backup bottle. Okay. That's to have just picked it up and already getting a backup bottle. That's solid. How much are the guys really doing besides putting their name on it? I'm not buying it. that's the thing. So that is something that I know Walt's pointed out. I've looked at it as well. And I've said this before. If and one of my goals at some point is to release a fragrance under the Smell Goods brand. I may even start a Smell Goods label. Right? That's just future tense. But you better believe that if I release something, yes, I'm still going to do what I do as far as reviews, as far as content, what have you. But you better believe I'm going to figure out a way to fit my own stuff into the list. You better believe I'm going to figure out a way to get my stuff in front of you alongside some of the other stuff that I'm reviewing. There's no way that I would have my name on something and I talk about it 1 week. What? I'm talking about it as much as I can. I'm gonna do lists just to make sure I fit it in somewhere. Why? Because my name's attached to it, and hopefully I'm getting sales off of it, right? So yeah. Now the thing about Neeb, I will say Neeb, one, this is solid as far as what I've picked up so far. But I will say Neeb is a little different because Neeb does talk about his stuff. You'll see Neeb talking about his stuff well after the release date. So that's just my thoughts. But I do look at who kind of talks about the stuff that they've got out. That's very telling to me, right? Let's see what else we got. The Rock is in the building. Good to see you, my guy. All right. Garland says, I will get a sample of Yomalel take on King Side and Queenie. Come, Kev. What about that oregano? Listen, this one, which one is it? The Fasla, which I've forgotten what it's doing this take on. Let me see real quick. From Yomalel, that Fasla is just, to me, it's just straight oregano. Like literally it was a drop of a big pan of oregano that got mixed in with this. Yeah, this is that Interlude 53. No, Shout out to folks in Tulsa, because I used to work at Mazzio's Pizza for a while doing delivery, and I remember one time somebody did drop the bag of oregano that we had to make pizzas, and I can't. So that's one that I'm not rocking with at all, and that's just, I don't like the DNA. I don't like that DNA. It is just straight oregano on that one. All right. Joe, by the way, Kev, the fragrance you talked about in your latest video is Dedrick. That means, okay. So yeah, the Aza Aldar. Okay. So I knew it was one of you two, but that was Dedrick. Good deal. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yes, your Jim Bray is nice. Absolutely. Peter McClure says, I picked up Yomalel's Dubai chocolate on the re-up, got triple spear as the free 10 ml on the way. Perfect. So Dubai chocolate, definitely. The thing about Yomalel, and I appreciate about Yomalel, is not only do they do pretty good job, not 100%, but pretty good job on many of their inspired takes, but some of their signatures, their originals, fire. Dubai chocolate is fire. Nizam is very nice, mass appealish. The other one, Solar is good, but Solar, I recognize, is not for everyone. Solar is not for everyone from Yomalel. So he definitely promotes himself. Absolutely. BTV, you know about Mazzio's. Yes, Mazzio's was the place in Tulsa. All right. Not racist, but all the brown Asian are overrated. Thriller saying it's a 10 of 10. Neeb gave it a fair review. Yeah. So that brings me to kind of another question. And let me know your thoughts, because so one of the reasons, and I'll make sure I'll put it in the description, but I'm doing a YouTube masterclass just to, if anybody wants to just kind of get some thoughts as far as coming onto YouTube, not necessarily in fragrance, but if you have some ideas and some thoughts about doing a YouTube channel, you just want some assistance, want some guidance, things of that nature, definitely you want to tap in with me. But one of the reasons I gravitated more towards YouTube And I'm starting to, yes, get my Instagram going. But the reason I'm focusing more on YouTube now on Instagram and less on TikTok, even though TikTok is just crazy. Question I have for you is this: is TikTok ruining fragrance community? Is TikTok ruining what we do as far as fragrances? And the reason I say that is because, yes, there is the quick 30-second hour, not hour, 30 second to a minute and a half, just sound bites, as it were, regarding fragrances. But is it a lot? Is it just a hype engine to hype up fragrances? Or is it something that is useful to the community? Is TikTok useful or is it harmful to the community? Is the question I kind of have. And I say that because, Twizzy, kind of just jumping off of your question, kind of using that as a jumping board, is that you have probably a lot of people saying that it's 10 out of 10 out of 10. But then you come on this side and you have, for example, Ashley's like, it's good. I just wonder if it would get the hype and the buzz if a different name was attached to it, right? And other people are saying it's good, but they're not like in a rush to really talk about it or too much, right? So the question is TikTok more harmful than positive for the community? Is TikTok maybe taking fragrance community down a path that might be harder to recover from? Or is this kind of like just how we're going as far as society as a whole? So that's kind of the question out there. Jump into the chat, let you all kind of respond off of that. The Jon Snow is the Bleu de Chanel EDP. Yes, but they have a Jon Snow EXCL. In fact, let me see if I can get it up there for you to show you what it is. Share our screen here. There we go. All right. So yeah, and let me remove this off of there. So this, the Jon Snow EXCL. That's the one that I'm talking about. That's the one that is their take on the L'Exclusif. So you can get the 30 ml, the 100 ml. But yeah, that's the one that is their version of the L'Exclusif. Pretty nice, pretty solid. Definitely puts you in that space of the Bleu de Chanel. Different enough where it's not fully redundant, but for most people, you might consider it too close to not be redundant, right? If that makes sense. There's some differences that are picked up between the original or between, for example, the Parfum and the L'Exclusif, but not enough that it creates this wide gap where it's just like it's a complete flanker to maybe, make it so that it's something else that you need to have in your connection. All right. Let's drop that off. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. Rick says, my frostbite arrived today. Can't wait to wear it when it warms up. It smells icy. Yeah, so you get the icy. I don't necessarily get the icy. The fruit is what really jumps off to me. The sweetness of it really is what jumps out to me, right? William says, are you back to doing mostly clone content again? Not necessarily. I'm just basically, there's some things that I've been trying to push right now as far as get my algorithm working back again the way I need it to. And so, yeah, I'm going to be dropping some more things that are kind of split around that. If you'll notice also, some of my things are no longer just clones or just designers or just niche. I'm kind of trying to mix them in there. So some of the things I've done recently have been more along the lines of just kind of putting them together. But yes, I will sometimes still do just strictly clone content, just because I got to pay attention to the algorithm as well. All right. How many sprays is overspraying? I see a lot of creators talking about 50 to 60 sprays. Isn't that overkill? I don't know who's talking about 50 to 60. Now that right there that's wild. 50 to 60 is wild. But for me, and I put out a thing the other day, For me, 5 to 7 is kind of the baseline where I start with most fragrances. But anywhere from up there to 10, maybe 12, depending, right? Because the way I'm looking is I pay for this fragrance. I pay because I want to smell the way I smell. You're going to get this work. You're going to get this fragrance work. You're going to get this fragrance work that's going, we're going to spray it. You're going to know I'm in the room. Now, I'm not going to choke you out. That's not my goal. But you're going to know that I'm around, right? Now, and as I mentioned, there are some fragrances that you just don't overspray. There are some fragrances that just, you can't do that. You will choke yourself and somebody else out doing that, right? But 50 to 60 sprays is wild. 50 to 60 is wild, wild, wild. Depends on the fragrance, different from one to the other. I agree with that, yes. Twizzy says, just picked up Savoir Faire from picked up Whiskey Rose with a handmade box. Yeah, I think because they had like a sale at the beginning of the year, I think their procurement and what have you, as far as getting all of the stuff that they normally have for their with the new boxes and the new bottle design and all that, I think that kind of they're doing the different boxes just because they wanted to still meet the demand, but they didn't have everything in place. In fact, my pastor just got Whiskey Rose as well, so definitely a solid one. William says, I think all platforms have their place. You just have to know what you're watching, just like Clones, Designer, Niche, all have their place. I can hear that, and I do hear that. I think I'll put it this way. For me, TikTok is more entertainment. YouTube is more informational for me, right? So I may watch, in fact, a lot of times now I've kind of gotten away from watching fragrance content on TikTok, some still on Instagram or what have you, just because after a while it's like I can't be hyped up too much anymore. But that's where I am with that. I think that there is value. I'm not going to say there's no value to TikTok. I think you're right. You just have to kind of know where it sits within kind of what you do and how you operate. I can get with that. Handy Cart, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Dutch, my guy. Yes, he says, just smelled a dupe of Thriller called Off the Wall. It's a Jordan from the elbow. I get it. Some of y'all get it. And y'all saw the clip. Somebody said I look like Michael Jackson. Listen, one of the things that makes me laugh is people always saying who I look like. And I've heard some crazy ones over my life, right? Those of you that are older, imagine me a little younger, thinner face, what have you. The one that I used to get a lot was initially Brad Daugherty from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then in the late 80s, early 90s, I looked like it before. I was doing it before, but Al B. Sure. Some of y'all may know who Al B. Sure was. More recently, if we're talking church, I've gotten comparisons to Fred Hammond. I've gotten comparisons to what's his name? To DJ Khaled. Some of these are just off the wall, but the Michael Jackson one is off the wall, and no pun intended. But the Michael Jackson one is crazy. And I've also been compared to someone said I look like Forrest Whitaker. My eyes are, sorry, but Forrest Whitaker, Michael Jackson, I can't get it. All right. Let's see. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Yes and no, meaning for TikTok, introducing new fragrances in short form. YouTube does have more honest takes, so it depends on the viewer experience. Yes. Hey, William, appreciate. I'm only going to keep it honest. I'm going to keep it a buck. My goal is, yes, to be able to push a lot of different things. Right now, just when I look at what I have as far as niche, I don't want to just keep recycling the same things over and over again. I do have more of an extensive collection, as it were, of clone and somewhat designer. So you're probably going to see that more until I fully make that shift and that transition over to more niche. But my goal is to really just be kind of solid across the board and talk fragrances. Speaking of next week, right now, the plan is I'm scheduled to have Zernel Gilly on for an interview. So make sure you're tapped in for that. Zernel Gilly, as we know, got this right here. I'm holding off on doing a review on this just because I'll probably schedule that to drop the same day I have the conversation with Zernel. But Zernel is supposed to be stopping by on next Tuesday. So Weekly Blend next week will be Zernel. And then the following week, right now, I'm planning to have Roth on and us talk some Zherzhov. So yes, we are going to still be including other content in here as well. All right. Garland says, I guess I got a long list. And I guess I have to make sure I get my wife a great fragrance as well. My wife has said I can hold off. My wife is like, she's got enough fragrances. My wife is like, one, she works from home, completely from home. So she's not in the office as far as like out and about with people. So she really only wears her fragrances when she's going out on the weekends or we're going to church or what have you, right? So for her, it's like she doesn't need 30 bottles of fragrances. She's good with the 12, 15 that I gave her, as well as the samples that we've gotten for her. So yeah, but make sure wifey's taken care of. That's the secret to a healthy marriage. Make sure wifey's taken care of. Absolutely. Dutch says 15 to 24 sprays is the sweet spot. I can hear that. Like I said, 5 to 7 is kind of like just getting started. 10 is typically about my baseline. But some days, yeah, it's kind of like I lose track. I'm just like I'm hitting kneecaps, I'm hitting elbows. Yes, be making sure. All right. Let's see what else. I'm definitely a sissy sprayer then, Dutch. Listen, my wife oversprayed for the first time this weekend. I think I've convinced her. Yes, she can overspray. All right. Should basically wear a 10 ml in one wearing. There's some stuff that, yes, you can go through very quickly, very easily as well. All right. Big AC and AZ, just peep the auditory review. That and so I guess Soul Cafe butter are my next orders. Yes. Oratory is solid. Soul Cafe is extra solid. Soul Cafe is, to me, that is the best one from Savoir Faire. Not everything, I think for me, Indicativa is not really my speed. It's not my jam. Love Sweet, I think from Savoir Faire. Love Sweet, I think is underrated. I think it should get a little more love. What else? Beau Noir is nice. Signature is not necessarily my favorite. Something else. Figasm is to me. Hella Flora is nice. So Savoir Faire has some good stuff, definitely. JJ Bishop asking, talking still about TikTok. It depends on age demographics. Younger demographics got the attention span of a chicken for them TikTok rules. I'm an OG. TikTok makes me dizzy. Yeah, I mean, now, if you are a fan of The Wire, which is probably one of the best TV shows ever created, one of the reasons that I do still rock with TikTok, search it up. There's a TikTok account. I think it's called The Wire Stories. They have done basically like fan fiction to take what happens years later after the original Wire when Avon comes home. It's entertaining. It's nice to tap into and just kind of remember about the show and see how they're bringing it out. But yeah, TikTok is, for me, TikTok is scrolling as far as just quick entertainment. It is good for food, as far as just like when my wife and I are going to new cities, what have you. We kind of want to see what's in the city as far as food, because we're foodies. Yeah, we'll tap into TikTok there, and that's how I kind of stay up on what restaurants and what things are happening here in the city here as well. So, absolutely. Have I smelled Magnetique? I wanted Frostbite first. Are they different enough to have both? I have not put nose on Magnetique or whatever, however it's pronounced. This one is my very first one from French Avenue, or actually from the Aromatics line. This is the first one. So I may tap in with the Magnetique at some point, but I couldn't tell you how close they are. All right. Let's see. William said he may order a box and tell him hold on to the fragrance. If you want the box, I mean, the box is definitely nice and amazing. I'm sorry, I was trying to see if I had a box underneath. I don't have a box. I think I've tossed out all of my boxes. If I had an extra one, I'd just send it to you so you could have the experience. I'll check and see, William. Hit me on IG if you have an opportunity. If you want the box badly, I can see if I have one and I'll get it over to you. So you can have that experience. Don't play around and do more than 2 sprays with Atlas or Dior Sauvage Elixir. Yes, those are ones that you just can't do a whole lot. Atlas is a biohazard if you spray more than 3. Atlas is no joke. Atlas will choke out a room. Atlas could be biological warfare. If we ever go to war, put that joker in some tear gas canisters or something, Atlas would do that. All right. Yes. I laughed too when Dutch talked about it being the breakup elixir. I don't got no dog in the fight. I think they just drifted apart. I don't know, but Cal seems to be rebounding decently. I don't know. Cal seems to have moved on. Found somebody in the community that he was feeling. So shout out to him. Shout out to, I forgot his ex-girl's name, but shout out to her too. All right. Wally, yes. I was gonna say I'll be sure. Yes. Yes. It was helpful as a young fella too. Let me just say that. It was helpful. I could get numbers then for sure. All right. Michael Jackson is a bad stretch. Absolutely. Michael Jackson is really a stretch. Fred Hammond, yes. Fred Hammond, that's another one that made sense. Absolutely. DJ Khaled and Michael Jackson are not accurate at all. Yes. DJ Khaled is just because I'm light skinned. And I think it was at a time where it was before I started wearing glasses and the beard. So it's just heavy set, light skinned guy with a beard. That's DJ Khaled's younger brother. Yeah. But yeah, Def Fred Hammond. Yes, absolutely. Well, you said somebody said you look like MJ, Stevie Wonder. Yes, Fred Hammond. Yes, yeah. The Stevie, the Michael Jackson one, that was in a live one day. Someone was just like popped in. Again, crackheads sometimes do make comments, but yes. Wally says, when I first saw you, I thought, Fred, where's Camera? You never know. Listen, you never know. All right. Everyone should have a spot where they can go and smell most fragrances before they purchase, and at least 3 for reviewers that they trust. I stopped watching Unc after I caught him in a couple lies. Yeah. So when you say Unc, who you refer to? But yes, you should have a spot where you can go and smell a number of the fragrances. Some of us, though, some people live in cities where that's not necessarily the case, right? There are some places where you're not going to have that experience, or as wide of experience as you might want to have, especially when we're talking about like the Middle Eastern clone cover remixes. You may not have that great of an experience or opportunity to. And then sometimes if you're not in a major city, you don't have that as well, right? So for example, like even though I live in Phoenix, which is a major city, Phoenix does not at present have really have a dedicated niche spot, right? We have Neiman's, we have Nordstrom's, we have Dillard's. So you get the usual suspects. You of course get the Mind Games, you get the Creed, you get what else? Of course, we're getting Initio. I just went to a place and they have Goldfield and Banks. I just was at another dealer's and they finally have Bond number 9. So we have some of the usual suspects, but a lot of things it's like it's just you won't have the experience to put nose on. So yes, that's why also having places that you can go that you can order from and sample to do that is going to be going to be a place to go. Yeah. Tweety said, where's Simone? That's a good question. Yes. I haven't seen her little. Yes. All right. Actually, I can. I'm not Fred worthy, but I could bust it out. Yeah, I could bust it out. Or at least at one point I could. I haven't really done a lot of singing in a long time. So it would be kind of a back to it being a challenge or a stretch, but yes. Let's see what else we got. I don't only Blue de Chanel with the Yamalel exclusive be sufficient. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for, if you don't want to necessarily jump out and get a full on Blue de Chanel, if you're like, I'm good with a replica, I'm good with it, then yeah, it's going to suffice. For me, I wanted to make sure Blue de Chanel was one of my grail fragrances. When I jumped into fragrance community, it was one of the ones that I was like, I got to have that. Right. There are some fragrances that for me, I'm just like, got to have on the shelf, got to have in the collection, got to break out every now and then. So for me, even if I had gotten, because I think I did have the Club de Nuit version, is it Icon or whatever it was, Iconic. So I did have that version for a season, which kind of helped to kind of pacify for a little bit. But I was like, no, I got to have the OG. But if you're like, you don't care if you need to have the OG, you just want that scent profile, then it'll suffice. It will suffice. Dutch says, nah, Ricky, I just need them to smell me before I enter the city or the county. Listen. Yes, sir. How's the longevity of chemistry and the sillage for you when I wear it? So it's not designed. So chemistry is not designed to be a room filler or room shifter. It is designed to be a presence type of fragrance. In other words, it is one that is going to create a nice sillage around you when you wear it. For me, I get maybe an arm's reach, right? It's not designed to be an explosive pushing off of skin fragrance. But as far as performance on it, I'm getting about average performance as far as the last couple of times that I've worn it. So I'm getting probably around that 6-7 hour mark is what I consider average. So definitely a solid fragrance, definitely does what I want it to do. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Dutch, it was Leah. That's what it was. It was Leah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Glad I tapped in and learned some new houses. Can you put links to some of the fragrances you talked about? Yeah, I can try and create some fragrance. I can probably try and do that going forward. And see if I can create some for you. Let's see. The mom and dad of Freycon. First of all, I'm a little too old to be calling some Cal, what, 30 years old, something like that. Somebody mom and dad. Because can I just be honest? For those of y'all that like our church and what have you, some of this mom and dad stuff in the church is wild. Like wild. Like like you got daddy issues wild, right? If some of you all knew like my full on like where I've been connecting, what have you, you know even more so how some of my wild statements are, as far as how wild that is. But yeah, this whole mom and dad thing may be said in jest and in fun, but some of it is just wild. All right. Yeah, some of them folks was a little upset. They was like, "Oh no, tell us it's not true. Tell us you're getting married." Listen, that's the risk that you run when you put everything on social media, right? My wife, we locked in, we solid, right? But if anything would ever happen, yeah, y'all would know, what have you. But we don't put all of our entire relationship on social media at all. Any card. Have I tried essential parfums? No, I have not tried essential parfums. Sorry, I did not see that. Let's see. Just gonna jump in. Jim's good to see you. Kind of jump through. Let's see. My uncle mean best brands perfume. Okay, got you. Well, they be calling Kev Pop in church. No, they don't. I don't even go for the doc stuff. Some of the stuff we do in church. I'm saying this as an ordained and recognized pastor and apostle. Some of the stuff we do in church is weird. Now, some of it is just what we do because that's what we believe, what have you. But some of the stuff we do, we just kind of go left with some stuff, right? That's just me. All right. Affordable niche, get on it. Okay. I may have to check it out. Other things that came out of this discovery set was, so I talked about how I don't like that oregano. Now this Oud Zane, which is their take on Oud Zarian. It's not there for me. Even right now when I'm smelling this, and I'm gonna give it a little more time just to give it the benefit of the doubt. But Oud Zarian, I'm good with. It reminds me of, it just feels like Oud Zarian is kind of like Christmas to me. It's just kind of the fragrance thought that I get with that. This is a little different. This is a little off from it. But yeah, Oud Zane or Oud Zarian, we'll see. I'll spend a little more time with it. But their Shisha, which is their version of Smoking Hot. Now this one is another one that rocks. This is another one that definitely works well. So, trying to see what else. That's it from there. Then there's one I forgot, that Oud Stallion, which we'll see about that. Jump back in. Let's see. So you said all that to inform us from this day forward to address as Papa Smell Goods. Listen, you can call me that all you want to. I'm not responding to that. Them comments will be ignored. I have 2 kids, and that's it. And I know I only got 2 kids. Ain't nobody else calling me daddy. In church, out of church, on YouTube, anywhere else. Yeah. So Ralph says, I wish you could make a video or a live stream comparing Creed, Oud Zarian, and Amouage Outlands. So I still haven't put nose on Outlands. I'll probably have to get a sample of that. I'll have to check that out. Oud Zarian, like I said, it's a nice one. It's just not one I'm racing to get from Creed. It's just not what I'm racing to get. It's one that at some point, yeah, maybe, but more, I would put more emphasis probably on like just a decant of it. But it's not for me a must-have from the line of Creed. And like I said, I put nose on Outlands. I went to Neiman's and they don't have it there. So I get it, Ralph. Okay, they were made by the same perfumer. So trying to see if would love to see if there's maybe some similarities, some signatures that are in there. I get you. Outlands is not for everybody. My local niche shop has it, and I spray it every time I go down there. Yeah, see, that's the thing, and that's why I'm really wanting to at some point open up a niche store here in the Valley in Phoenix, because we don't have anything. Like I said, it's actually quite surprising when especially as I've jumped into fragrance and jumped into this community. It's actually surprising that a city as big and as populous as we are, we don't have a full-on niche spot. We have a Cosbar, which they just have like Ex Nihilo, PDM, Creed, Tom Ford, and Initio, right? Yes, I can go to Scottsdale and go to the Neiman's and the the Dillards and the Nordstroms and get a little wider selection. But like I was able to put nose on vanilla powder for the first time a couple weeks ago. The Guerlain line is, yeah. Now there's some things in the Guerlain line that I definitely wanted to tap into, but there's not a whole lot here. So definitely something that if you have a place that you can go smell, take advantage of it. Definitely do that. All right. That still haven't smelled Oudzarian. Yeah, I mean I had gotten a sample from the Creed representative here at one of the dealers. They had sent it over to me when it first came out. So that was that. Let's see what else we got going on. That's it for there. I saw someone said that they recently got, was it let me go back here. The Azzaro Absolute Forever Absolute. This right here, the Absolute. This is definitely my speed. Whiskey, vanilla around the edges, smoke, as far as the incense, amber. Yeah, this is definitely date night grown man approved. This is one of those grown man approved fragrances. This is for the unks and the OGs. Nephews can wear it if you handling business, but this is definitely one of those grown man type fragrances for sure. Let me see if I can find something for that. Let's see what else we got here. Curtis says a lot of outlet malls and Walmarts are now carrying Arabian fragrances. They have tester bottles. Keep your eyes peeled for the new rollouts. Okay. My secret to that was there's a Muslim store here that they serve the Muslim community. So they have, of course, the attire. They also have the incense, but they also have fragrances. Now he doesn't get his stuff as quickly as I would like. He kind of is 6 to 9 months behind on a few things, but it's a good place to kind of go check out and see, maybe put nose on stuff that I may have missed, or he does pull stuff like straight from Dubai. And so there's some things that I put nose on that's like, okay, it's a brand that I've never heard of or anything like that. And there's some nice stuff, but that's it. That's the only things we have here as far as Middle Eastern brands. Y'all be praying for me because I'm trying to make a connection with someone who I know does like a huge setup. I'm trying to see if I can get connected with his distributor and maybe bring something like that to Phoenix, which it would be more along the lines of Middle Eastern or the clone cover remixes, as well as testers of some of the designers and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get that done, but yes. All right. Sintball says, I received Diverci by Rogue Perfumery in the mail today. It's a musky amber tobacco fragrance with vanilla undertones. I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's check that out, because some of y'all know I am a sucker for a tobacco fragrance. All right, I got their site locked in. Okay. That may be something to check out. Okay. Good. Appreciate that. Which do you prefer the most? Forever Wanted, Elixir, or Absolute? Good question. So for me, I would go with the Absolute. I really like and enjoy the Absolute, but the Elixir is a close second. The Elixir, one of the things for me with the Wanted line and the Most Wanted line was, not everyone, of course, but some of them leaned a little young. Not saying that they were juvenile, but some of them leaned a little young for me. As far as just like being something that I was like, I gotta get. It was like I think I've got a couple of decants, and so therefore it's like when I feel like wearing it, it's there. But these two just kind of like go in a direction for me that I'm like, I'm really enjoying. The leather, the raspberry leather in the elixir, and then the whiskey and the smoke and the amber and the absolute are both like top notch to me. So, but if I had to choose one or the other, I would go with the absolute. But the elixir, like I said, is a close second. Definitely a close second. Is it because there is no sufficient market in Phoenix? Here's the thing. If you think about Phoenix, Phoenix is a major metropolitan city. The thing that's interesting about Phoenix is that Phoenix, as far as the city, is surrounded by what would be on their own other cities. So Scottsdale is like Phoenix north, as it were, northeast. Tempe, which is a huge college town. You got Chandler and Gilbert, which is where there's lots and lots of money. So the money areas in Phoenix, as far as like where the wealthy, where the retired NBA and NFL players and even baseball players are, you're going to have them in Scottsdale, Chandler, and Gilbert, right? And even now starting to expand out to places that are called like Surprise and Peoria and what have you. So there's enough money in Phoenix to support niche stores. I just think that no one's pulled the trigger, as it was on it. I mean, if you think about it, I'm here. I mean, just even from a content creator standpoint, I'm here. Cal is here. The Scent Bubble's here. Who else? There's another guy on TikTok that I know is here. So there's like 5, maybe 6 total creators that are here that would also just definitely love that. In addition, you've got Day 3, which is in Queen Creek, which is just like on the outskirts of the Phoenix metro area. But because the Phoenix metro area is growing, Queen Creek is booming too. So it's really just a full-on part of the Phoenix metro area. It's just no one's pulled the trigger, as it were. At least as far as I've been here. Since I've been here, no one's pulled the trigger. And I've been here for 13 years now. So Marion says, is unisex just marketing? I think all of it's marketing. I think unisex, feminine, and masculine is just marketing. I'm a fan of wear what you want to wear when you want to wear it. There are some things that just, for me, aren't my scent profile, right? Like this right here, this aromatics. My wife was like, she might want to rock that, right? And yes, it is unisex, but it's. There are some that would say, well, it leans more masculine, right? For me, wear what you want to wear. There's some stuff like, is it Devotion? I think it's Devotion by Dolce & Gabbana that I'm like, it's a nice fragrance, right? Queening. Queening is something that I would rock, right? So yeah, I think a lot of it is just marketing. Even if we're honest, the whole seasonality, there are some things that, yes, just from my perspective, make more sense to wear in certain weathers. But if we look at, for example, oud fragrances, and we look at the Middle East, people wear oud all the time there. We think that oud is mostly a fall and winter fragrance. It's just wear what you want to wear when you want to wear it. All right. Let's see. Gonna jump down a little further. Talk about Davichi. Yes. All right. Good deal. I think that's it. Like I said, I really didn't have a whole lot planned for today, just because last week was fun, and last week did have a lot of information that I needed to get to you all, and you all know why I wanted to get that information out to you. This week I've been doing a lot of different things, so I just wanted to make sure I came on again to just connect with y'all, to tell you all how much I appreciate each and every one of you, but also to just get back to talking fragrance, because that's what we're here for. We're here to talk fragrance, right? Trying to think what else to let you all know. So yeah, be on the lookout for, of course, things will be dropping. For those of you that are tapping in right now, just to kind of pass the word along. So those of you that pray or whatever you may do, Walt put out on his Instagram that his grandmother, who he mentioned in his, only reason I'm mentioning it to you all is because he mentioned it in his live a few weeks ago. So his grandmother did pass away, looks like today. So definitely just, our condolences out to him, to his family, prayers for him and his family, especially because, we can all empathize and know what that looks like as far as just family members that have gone on. So definitely be mindful of that. And I think that's it. Really quick, just see what else is there. Following by day 3 in imaginary authors. Oh, you're saying Rogue Perfumery is number 1. And then, yes, day 3 and imaginary authors. So I've got to tap into Rogue Perfumery then. And then imaginary authors has some nice solid things as well. As far as just I've put it nose on through sample. So excellent. Well, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, before you leave the building, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure we have enough likes. That again, just let the algorithm, let YouTube know, because YouTube was tripping earlier. Let YouTube know that we had some time here. So appreciate y'all. Make sure you tap in and look out. I'll be going live periodically, just sometimes during the midday check-in. Y'all have a great week, great time. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed. Peace, y'all.